Yeah, well, I'm just so progressive. I only drink soy-based tea that is friendly to native animals during the harvest period, but also native insects. And I do my utmost. I do my utmost to reduce my carbon footprint. And I do believe in this crazy thing called equality. What is going on? Another video here. Topic today is about progression in your workouts. Progression. It's on my humble abode in my sitting room again. I don't know. Is this better? Maybe this angle? Maybe more relaxed with the leg. I'll settle for this. Now, I don't care if you're a man, woman, non-binary. Everyone should be progressing. Now, this particular topic came up. I did a video before about 5 tips on returning to the gym. And my good friend and coach, old coach of mine of Krav Maga, commented his opinions and tips on progression. On my opinions and tips. I thought it'd be a good video to really go in depth to progression, what I mean by progression, okay? I'm not expecting everyone to be Superman or Superwoman to progress to the point where you can lift trucks. And, you know, I mean progression in the relative sense. Progression relative to your genetics. So what is progression? Progression is the ability to be able to increase your workouts and your output of intensity, strength, and endurance. It's the ability to simply go up, up, up. You continue to go up. That is the key. You go up. And as you know, everything that goes up must get fucking ripped. So why to progress? It's really just the simple fact of what I pointed out there. It's the only true way to really track yourself. So if you're looking to lose weight or gain muscle, progression is just the obvious way to go. If you're getting stronger or your output is increasing every week, you know you're going in the right direction. Sometimes looking at a scale in a mirror isn't going to give you the same certification or confirmation that you're looking for. But if you are getting stronger every week, you know something's happening physiologically in yourself. You're evolving, you're adapting. That might happen for 6-7 months and you may not see any body change. And then it tends to around that 7th to 8th month period, boom, that's when all the muscle comes on and such. And obviously during it, you'll lose weight, of course. But that's a reason to progress, because you can track it. And also, everyone wants to get stronger, wants to be better. If you do the same things, you're going to get the same results. I don't want to quote every Instagram influencer or every coach out there seems to quote the apparently Einstein quote of repeating the same thing as Saturday. Einstein never said that. I mean, if we're just going to fire out random quotes here, I'll say, to get a bigger chest, you must train chest 3 days a week. Dash Sir Isaac Newton. Now you're with me on it. Okay, so we're going to progress. You're all for it. You're going to go, yep, Kyle, tell me how to progress. How am I going to progress? Ways to progress. I have figured out, in our training protocol for the Orcs Den, there's 2 ways, realistically, to progress. I think, anyway. So the first way would be to track your strength. It would be to... assuming you're doing resistance training here, weight training, is to actively every week go up in weight. Now, don't jump on my dick straight away. I know some people might up there saying, oh, but not everyone can do that. You're just starting the gym, maybe 12 reps or something is enough for someone. No, wait. What I mean is the starting point. So to find what your intensity level is, right? Wait there. Okay, so take an exercise. You do a couple of warm-ups and then you have your main set. Your main set is where you try to hit maybe 7 to 10 reps and it's a good form. Now, everything I say here in this video, it goes without giving. You need a clean form. And you truly need to be going to failure during your clean form. No ego. We're not comparing penis sizes here or juicy vaginas. We are going to clean failure. So, if it was a bicep curl, for example, and I mean truly think about this. My tracking would be, if I was doing a bicep curl. So, I'm curling in the gym. You see guys curling. Their last rep can be like this. 8. And then last one. Ooh, and they drop it. There is no way that is your last rep. You had a few more in the tank there. Now, I don't mean the last few you're rocking your back and you're letting your form go. Form should stay. That should be your last rep. You'll know your last rep when the form is still clean. When the form starts to go, you stop. But You need to truly in your mind go to that last point, because that's going to be your starting point to progress. If you truly don't go there and every week you say, okay, I did 12 and the last 12 was like this. Oh, okay, next week I'm going to do 13. I'm going to go up the weight. Did you truly go? Was that your failure? Was that your maximum output there? I don't fucking think so. So, you find your starting point. That last rep where it's excruciating, but your form's still good and you cannot even move it anymore and you drop it. There's your starting point. So next week, say you got to, I'm not going to give you the exact rep point to when to move up the weight, but say for example you only got 5 or 6 reps. Next week you aim for maybe one more than that. And then the week after that maybe another one. And then eventually you'll go up the weight and try to hit a certain rep range. Every week you actively try to increase it. So, for example, compound bench press. If, say, let's go for squat, bench, row, it doesn't matter. Say you're doing a 60 kilo squat. You got 12, 15 reps. They were good, okay? Next week, you could add on 0.5 kilos to that, or even 1 kilo to that exercise. Now, that doesn't sound much. Right now, people will be saying to me, that's 1 kilo of a difference. It makes a difference, because in a month, that's 4 kilos. And then in 2 months, that's 8 kilos. And then in 3 months, that's 12, so on and so on. And then almost in a year, you could be adding extra full plates to your squat. It's a big difference. Actively, you have to try to hit climb up that weight every week. The way I do it is I tend to add 0.5 kilos onto every compound movement I do. If it's machine work, I try to go up the clips. Now, I do it based on whatever reps I'm going to get. If my last set is only 6 reps, say, or 7 reps, I'm ideally not going to go up the weight next week again. I'm going to try to better that with increased reps until I get to a certain point. Now, I'm not going to tell you where that certain point is. On the Oxygen protocol programs, we have a certain point that we believe is the perfect point to allow the user to go up to the next weight. But you're just going to need to find that for yourself and what feels right. So that is the idea of progressing up. Every week you're trying to do a bit more. You're trying to always try and increase that weight. And that goes, it doesn't matter if you're dieting or cutting, the same thing. A lot of guys make the mistake when they're cutting is they tend to drop the weights and trying to go volume-wise. But you need to give your body the reason to keep the strength. Otherwise, it's going to drop the muscle very quickly. So, now, are you increasing injury if you're in a caloric deficit lifting heavy? Absolutely. You are. But that is just a rule of the dice sometimes you need to take. You need to judge your body. I'm not saying force yourself to lift the same weight you were doing when you were maybe on a caloric surplus. Certainly not. But you certainly need to at least try to still lift a heavy weight in relevant to your strength at that current time. Now, there's another way to progress. Now, say, for example, you've plateaued in progression. Now, that's going to be very hard to get to. But say, for example, you're someone that you cannot get any heavier. You can't go up the weights. You think you've hit your genetic potential. Well, there's a few progressions after that. If you've stagnated and you cannot go up anymore, perhaps it's your food that needs a progression next. Or it's your recovery needs progression. Perhaps you need to eat more, or perhaps you need to sleep more. But if you're truly locked out, the alternative way for someone else, or maybe someone with an injury, say they can't lift heavy, would be then time. I would track the time in between every set. If, for example, between your warm-ups you're waiting 1 minute, and between your heavy sets you're waiting 2 minutes, try to knock time off that every week. So if you're going to do the same weight for, say, 10 reps, try to knock it off by 5 seconds. The week after that, another 5 seconds. To the point where maybe your rest periods are only maybe 30, 20 seconds long. It'll increase the tensity and time under tension of the muscles that the blood is still flowing to it. That can still allow you to progress greatly and increase your strength gains. Now, of course, realistic targets. We're not all going to progress to the maximum point where we're able to lift infinity. It's relative in terms of what your genetic potential is, of course. So, progression, you have to find the sweet spots. For big muscle groups like back and chest and legs, yes, continuing to lift heavy and progressing is probably the best way. Smaller, more delicate muscle groups like arms, for example, and biceps, it's probably more better to go for a higher rep range and maybe decrease your time between each set as a progression. But you're trying to hit realistic targets. Take it in a month. You maybe want to add on a couple of pounds to your bench or a couple of pounds to your squat. You're not realistically going to add on 30, 40 kilos. You need to slowly progress it. Every week, only a couple of pounds you add on. You know, small changes, but they add up to massive results at the end of the year. Now, the last one we'll touch on would be cardio progression. Now, the idea is, people say to me when it comes to losing weight is, they think that I'm not losing weight anymore, I've stagnated. what should I do? Should I just go longer on the treadmill? Should I go longer walks? Should I run longer? If you're someone that's generally competing or just as a runner or a cardio enthusiast, yes, increasing your distances, decreasing your trying to lower the time that you complete that distance in is a progression. But for someone losing weight, it isn't the answer to do more. I had a few clients before that thought that it was better to, they stopped losing weight, so they thought, well, I'll just do longer cardio. But that can just keep going on to the point where maybe, what's the end point? You do cardio 6 hours a day? I mean, that's just not realistic. The progression there would be food. You just keep lowering the calories. So cardio progression is a funny one. You're for losing weight, you're better off lowering the calories, not doing more cardio. But certainly if you are someone that's a cardio enthusiast, like a runner for example, it's quite obvious for your progression. You're going to go for distances and decrease the time that you complete them distances in. So the summary here, progression is a wonderful thing. Everyone should be aiming to progress. A lot of people out there think they are progressing every week, but your progression, whatever your starting point is that you think you're progressing from, that has to be fucking super effort. It has to be fucking amazing effort. And I mean clean. It has to be the best form ever, squeezing the way top, slowing the negative, exploding the way up, and the perfect number to true failure. I'm not talking about failure where the last rep is, ooh. I mean where the last rep is, fuck, oh. That's your failure, and that's your starting point. And you need to be honest with yourself. And that's 1 set per exercise. Your 2 warm-ups between every exercise, you don't really need to track them too much. It's that 1 or 2 working set you're going to have. Them 2 heavies you're going to have in every exercise. You need to be tracking that shit. And you need to be honest. I don't want someone starting, maybe they're doing 12 reps and something, and realistically in their head they're going, that felt quite easy. I'll do 13 next week. No. You're going to find your breaking point, and then every week you're going to progressively go to that breaking point again, and then a tiny bit more some. That's progression. Now guys, if you're looking for a progressive program tailored by myself for you, we do that at The Orcs Den at www.theorcsden.com, or you can private message me. I'm on Instagram at Carl_Gibson_training. And obviously here, you're fucking watching me.